Truly African.
It is the 14th day of August 2020. Good afternoon to you wherever you are watching us, and welcome to Midday News on Pan-African Television. We are live in our studios at Belengpe 24 Swanika Street of Accra. We are live on Facebook at Pan-African Television, and of course we're streaming live on 32 African countries via satellite. My name is Ivan Bans Abba. Now let's look at our bulletin for today. Professor Nana Opoku Agyemang urged youth to stay focused. Coming up, Ghanaians react to 85% cleanliness of Accra. Also coming up, 10 tissue realtors granted bail. And some business, we are not witch hunting foreign retailers, Trade Minister Piao says. And on international today, Afghan government to release remaining 400 Taliban prisoners. Now these and many other stories coming up shortly. Stay with us. Now the news in detail. Now running mate of the National Democratic Congress NDC, Professor Nana Opoku Agyemang, in conversation at the Youth Engagement for Global Action ceremony, advised Ghanaian youth not to be distracted but to stay focused on transforming their dreams into reality.
We need to encourage all of us, especially our young people, not to be distracted, not to be discouraged by unhelpful cynicism. Please get engaged, stay focused, stay the course. Work towards translating the dreams you have into reality. You may ask me why. We'll get there. Distinguished patriots, we know we've celebrated this International Day for a while. The youth organizer has talked about it. But I believe that we also need bold, visionary, and selfless leadership so that we can harness our African youth, all of us, into the force that we need to push this continent forward. I believe that as youthful people, you've all read The Africa We Want 2063. Place is available. Now you have the phones. You know, in my time, I had to go to the library, physically walk to the library, look at the subject catalog, look at the author's catalog, write the name, then go up the stairs and look for the book. Today, you don't have to do that. I know your chats and your friends, they are all important. But also, respectfully, I request that you use some of the time also to see where the big decisions are made that trickle onto your country, so that you can affect the conversations at that level too.
Away From that, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo on April 24th, 2017, declared his intention to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa by the end of his first term in office. On the 11th of August 2020, Sanitation Minister Cecilia Abnadapa in an interview says government has achieved 85% of the cleanest city promise made by the president. In the following report is the reaction from some Ghanaians upon hearing the 85% promise made by the minister.
Make of minister's statement that they have achieved 85% of president's agenda to make Accra one of the cleanest cities in Africa.
Oh, but we were sure make a trigger. Why? The almost Canadian and Yan quarry. The baby so me for bring ma government, you know, individuals and ye dirty because so far as a mom will be a father is that minister I say. Almost 5 rent to but to Chauka be shout me sometimes make a shout to or why for two also I run this those is the account buy a crap party and yeah possible. And do 17 or more canon and there no quite there they do.
So how many percentage will you give the minister?
40%.
40%.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, actually, with the minister's statement, I don't think it's 85. With me, if you should give me the marks, I think it's 35%, not 85. Because looking at some parts of, let me say, some parts of the Bukum and the rest, when it passed by, the whole place is filled. So him giving us 85% is wrong. To me, it's 35. That's all.
Do you think it's possible to achieve that?
No, not in Africa. No, or not in even not in West Africa. You can say.
We all know that up to now, Ghana is still containing filth. So that's just a lie and a propaganda for the leaders of us to gain power. So that's absolutely lie.
Do you think it's doable to make the Accra one of the...
Yeah. It's something that is possible because it has been before that Kumasi was one of the cleanest city or region in West Africa. So it's possible, but it all depends the attitude of we the citizens and also our leaders. So I think if it's something that will be possible, it's 50% of the citizens' attitude and 50% of the politicians' attitude. Yeah, so it's possible, but as at now, Ghana being a cleaner, that's absolutely lie. Yeah, that's absolutely lie.
Well, for me, we've not achieved that yet because she has a lot of work to do. She's just in her mind. She's not in town. We are in town. We know what's going on. She doesn't know what's going on. So to me, I think if I should score her on a scale of 100, I would give her 25%.
So what do you think of the minister's statement?
She said Accra is facing because we share Mama Tamana not bolo krum too much. But she said who say and Bian Kusuba I'm Accra I find. She said say to me say the city so to me one no some 8 years in there to Accra be fine. It will be a one no to me on some back. Oh I collect money. Yeah.
Now, away from that, 10 persons, including a female who trooped into the street of Teshin to celebrate Pashimo, a form of carnival as part of the Homo War celebration, have appeared before the Accra Circuit Court. The 10 have been variously charged with failing to comply with restrictions imposed to contain COVID-19, routing with offensive weapon, possession of offensive weapon, and assault on a police officer.
The accused pleaded not guilty and the court presided over by Mrs. Evelyn Asamoah admitted them to bail in the sum of 15,000 Ghana cedis each, with 2 sureties each, one of whom is to be a public servant. They are expected to reappear on August 31, 2020, and the prosecution has been ordered by the court to file their disclosures. The accused that are all unemployed are Akwele Ama, Desmond Mama Mate, Thomas Ajay, Isaac Mensah, Christopher Mensah, John Odoilaye, Emmanuel Ajete, Julius Mama, Matthew Amate, and Frank Nnabui. Mr. Cecil Metonuno represented 6 of the accused persons. Prosecutor Chief Inspector Emmanuel Haliga told the court that on July 22, 2020, The Teshi Traditional Council engaged stakeholders, including the Kpanshimo Group, a group that usually engages in organizing street carnivals during the celebration of the Teshi Homowo Festival. He said the council in a letter to the group stated that due to the imposition of a restrictions order to contain the spread of the coronavirus pandemic, the Traditional Council was not going to celebrate the 2020 Teshi Homowo Festival in a grand style. Prosecution said the council further directed that all ritual practices should be restricted to the various clans in their various homes with strict observation of the COVID-19 protocols. It said on August 11, 2020, at about 2 o'clock hours, the accused and other 300 accomplices, now at large, defied the restrictions orders in force, trooped onto the major streets in Teshi to celebrate Kpanshimo, a significant activity of the Homowo Festival. Chief Inspector Haliga said most of the accused were armed with offensive weapons such as stones, bottles, cutlasses, the knives, attacking people and obstructing road users. He said on seeing the police, the accused and the accomplices resorted to pelting the police with stones and bottles. The prosecution said the rampaging youth bent tiles in the middle of a road, thereby preventing road users and police from dispersing the riotous crowd.
All right, so now away from that, now there's been some mayhem. Information reaching us is that there's been some mayhem that have characterized the University of Cape Coast campus among students and the Student Representative Council over some issues that is not clear to us. We're going to be we're going to be on phone with a concerned student who is the person of Abdul Aziz to explain to us what some of these issues are. Good afternoon to you, Abdul Aziz. Okay, all right. So as and when we get to Abdulaziz, we'll have this conversation with him to find out exactly what some of the issues are on the University of Cape Coast campus. Yes, so now let's move ahead to our next story. Now, the former Minister for Youth and Sports, Elvis Efriye Ankara, has admonished journalists to speak up more about the violence that have made the voter registration exercise in order to circumvent occurrences in the upcoming general elections in December. Now, speaking at a press conference in Accra, Mr. Ankara further urged the media to be circumspect in the reportage and desist from the habit of generalizing issues.
That we're going to deal with the issue of violence in the forthcoming elections, because there is every indication that that has become one of the tools in the arsenal of this failing government, and they would want to deploy violence. They did it in Ayawaso West. They told us it was a dress rehearsal, and they've done it in the registration. So one should expect that they will try to do it during the actual the voting exercise. And that is why we cannot be indifferent, you know, and the civil society groups that are keeping quiet. I keep telling people that nobody's name is written on a bullet. There's something called a stray bullet. When it comes, it hasn't got anybody's name written on it. And if we don't speak up and ensure that these things stop, you never know who will be caught on the wrong end of the barrel on election day. So it's important that we speak out, civil society speak out, you, the media, you are actually the ones who should speak out more. You are in the first line of action, because you are on the ground. When the guns start firing, you want to capture it for your news. You can be shot, or you can be beaten for filming it. It's been happening. Some of your friends, multimedia, some of them haven't even recovered Emmanuel Ante or so. So you have a responsibility to keep speaking. And if it is something that has been done wrong by the NDC, say it is the NDC, Mr. X or Mr. Y who has done it, and let him be held accountable. If it's been done by the MPP, say it is this Mr. XYZ who did it by the MPP, and let him be held accountable. This business of generalization and putting everybody in a box, and the political parties, you know, it's a very subtle way of justifying the wrong and equalizing it. If people who are known MPP talks go and beat up people, and then you come on there and say, and the political parties and was it the NDC that did it? We know the people who did it, and we know where they are coming from. Do we have AK-47s? Why can't we be forthright and truthful and speak the truth and shame them? But we generalize, we are advising all political parties. The other time I had to call a friend in one of the media houses. They said they were launching a campaign against violence. And meanwhile, in all the violence, and the two parties, who in this, which NDC person in this registration has been carrying AK-47 and has been beating people? So we should stop the generalization and say the truth. That's the only way we can move forward as a country. Thank you.
All right, so to our next story, but before that, our information reaching us is that with regards to the mayhem that have characterized the UCC campus, that is the University of Cape Coast campus, is that Student Representative Council, the SRC, and some concerned students are saying that there's going to be a press briefing by these two bodies, and when that is done, there's going to be an information being released. As it stands now, they are not in the position to speak to any media outlet as it stands now, and so we'll bring that development as and when we have that development. Now let's move to our next story. Now the MP for Kratchi West, Helen Ntoso, has called on the Electoral Commission to release voter ID cards of some Fulani challenged over citizenship rights in the just ended voter registration exercise. Now, according to the former voter regional minister, the situation, when not addressed, would lead to tribal bigotry in the constituency. Helen Ntoso expressed the concerns in the following interview with my colleague David Atto.
In my constituency, Kratchi West, it was really good, and people came out in their numbers to register, except that there were few problems, issues that were raised by the MPP agents. They were not allowing the Fulanis to register, but we also objected to what they were doing, and a number of times we also went to the polling stations where they were not allowing them to register, because we did tell them that there is a process where if you think that the person is not a Ghanaian, you've got to fill a form, you know, so that in my constituency, most of the people, I would say that 99% of the people that were challenged are Fulanis who have lived there. Some of them even have the Ghana card, but still they were challenged. So, and they have still not given them their cards. The committee, you know, they keep adjourning, but I know that by the end of whatever they're doing, they'll give them their cards, because the people have lived there for more than 30 years. They voted in, most of them voted in 92, then 96, 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016. So I'm sure they will have their cards. These were the problems that we faced in the constituency. Notwithstanding that, the number of people who came out to register are people who are eager. That's the reason why I didn't buzz. When local government decided to couch and to create more districts, the first that was created was Nkwanta South. It was, in those days, it was called Kratchi Nkwanta. Then after that, there was a split. So you have Nkwanta North, Nkwanta South. Then after some time, Kratchi East was created, and then 2016, 2012, Kratchi Nchumu was created. So now Kratchi has become a smaller place, which we are not happy about. You know, so when you look at the population, or you look at the number of registered voters, Nkwanta North, Nkwanta South, Kratchi East, Kratchi Nchumu, the figures are more than Kratchi. It's not because there are people didn't come out to register. No, it's because Kratchi has become a smaller place than what it used to be. It used to be a very big district.
Let's look at Now move forward. Now there's been alleged gunfire at an NDC member, a National Democratic Congress member, in the Nkranta community specifically in the Doma West constituency. And so we'll be speaking to an eyewitness who obviously witnessed the situation to give us an account of exactly what happened in the constituency. So if you have anyone on the line, Abdul Abubakar, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Can you position yourself very well for me?
Oh, okay. Is it clear now?
It's not too clear. Your voice is very faint.
Oh, okay. We're having some challenges with our line here. So
Okay.
if you can take it like that, if you can hear me.
Okay, that's fine. All right. So information reaching us is that there's been some alleged gun shot fired at an NDC member in the Doma West constituency. How true is that? Is there any iota of truth in that? And if yes, what actually characterized this situation?
Yeah, good afternoon to your cherished viewers.
Right.
And then you yourself.
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
The whole thing came about when the EC instructed some mop-up within the voter registration exercise.
Right. Right.
The EC offices.
Right.
Yeah. So it was the very 30th day that they began.
Okay.
Yeah. As what generated the heat at the EC office, for now we don't know. But we heard that some gunshots fired at the station where the driver and then the bodyguard of the current MPP MP, Mr. Honorable Halidu Ali Mega, pulled a gun, shot one Kwame Guntan, an NDC member.
So if I'm getting you right, the gunshot was fired by the driver of the current MP of the Doma West constituency, Halidu.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was rushed and took to the hospital, the Doma West District Hospital. And he referred to Sunyani Regional Hospital, the regional capital of Bono.
Okay.
But the issue is the family of Kwame Guntan is harassing that they don't know whether the hospital wants their charge to pass on, or they don't know what actually they don't want to happen, or they want it to happen to their brother. Because from 30 days up to now that I'm speaking with you, they promised to do some surgery to take out the bullet from the body. But as of now, no surgery has been done. And if they consult the doctors, the nurses, they will be just postponing the date for the surgery. Like tomorrow, the doctor will come. The next day, the same thing. So they are raising concern about it.
Okay. So what I want to find out from you is, I understand the situation now, but what I want to know is what really brought about this mayhem. What caused the gunshot? Was there any misunderstanding between the driver of the MP and the victim? What brought about the situation?
As for now, what brought the mayhem is not yet confirmed, because I've been told that there wasn't any misunderstanding. It was just the MPP supporters at the scene, and then the NDC supporters too at the other side, where the guy just put the gun and rushed to the Kwame Guntan, and then he shot him.
Okay. So has there been any concerns raised by the current MP of the constituency? Has he spoken about the incident or the issue? Has he visited the hospital to see the victim and how he is faring as it stands now?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. So and so has this situation been reported to the police for further probe?
Yeah, I learned that day the military was there, so they just arrested them. In the same day night, they released the guy.
So the driver who fired the shots has been arrested?
They arrested the guy, the driver. at that same night.
Okay. So before I let you go, what is the name? What was the name of the hospital? What?
Sunyani Regional Hospital.
Okay. And what are the nurses or, like you said, doctors saying about the situation? Is it a critical situation?
Yeah, he's in critical condition now.
Wow. Okay, thank you very much. We'll call you as and when there are some latest informations about this very issue. We have been speaking to an eyewitness, Abubakar Sadiq, who happens to be there when the gunshot was fired and giving us accounts as to exactly what happened. And so that was Abdul Sadiq. We'll go for a quick break. We'll return shortly with some more news. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
African Center for Capacity Building, AFCAP, organizes the following executive and advanced certificate programs like Executive Certificate in Project Management, Executive Certificate in Human Resource Management, Executive Certificate in Real Estate and Property Management, Executive Certificate in Data and Records Keeping, Executive Certificate in Monitoring and Evaluation, Executive Certificate in Logistics and Transport Management, Executive Certificate in CCTV Monitoring and Installation. AFCAP, where capacity building is our priority. For registration and enquiries, please call 0244 405047, 0242 135523. We have our branches in Accra, Tamale, Kumasi, and Wa. Saturdays and weekdays sessions are available. Admission is still in progress. Enroll now. Join the African professionals. AFCAP, where capacity building is our priority.
You, Daddy. Yes. So when you bought for, and I was a momobo. Bought for ointment. Why never? Bought for in every hay. Oh, let's say when you bought for. I drew with me to the swan of my sorry. What's it? I drew when I walk up, proper memoir. Your body running friend Mali, go back, what true for was me dancing in one approach. What am I dancing in your copas and other from Wabami Haya? A young copy, Usisi, Waposu, a woman and a Tipre Museno, Nemuyania. So when your ultimate TB the fire.
Tania na white woman sway made the buffalo cream a treaty money yinako pimples a crow a jam a proper no one many area would way what the and chili good siumu now the buffalo soap can the straswa 5 minutes a chi now the buffalo cream a strasso a best sunny in from a huato buffalo herbal products
or man for Jatunti was the Male Copa Pasua.
So if you're just joining, this is media news on Pan-African Television. My name is Ivan Bands Aban, and let's do some more stories. Now, the senior minister, Yao Osafo-Mafo, has revealed government's commitment and support to help build an efficient sewage system in various cities across the country. Speaking during a working visit to the two major sewage plants operated by Sewage System Ghana Limited, Mr. Osafo-Mafo believed that government support for sewage industry must be a continual process.
Accra can only boast of 5% working sewage system. The situation has compelled many households in building their own sewage systems, normally called manholes, to manage the waste generated. On his visit to the 2 sewage plants operated by Sewage Systems Ghana Limited at Lavender Hills, the senior minister assured the company of government's continuous support in managing the country's sewage system.
The government support is not one time, it must be continuous because it's our job to do this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The managing director of Sewage Systems Ghana Limited, Saeed Haider, explained that the company is expanding its activities to other cities such as Kumasi, Takoradi and Tema. Mr. Haider believes the company needs government collaboration to sustain the major investment made in the sector.
We have provided almost 1,000 indirect jobs also in these facilities. And by the time we finish construction of the Kumasi Tamale and Takoradi, and by the time we finish those facilities, yes, we can go up to probably 1,000 or 1,200 permanent jobs and more than 5,000 indirect jobs that we have created.
The 2 plants, Lavender Hill Fecal Treatment Plant and Mudo Waste Water Treatment Plant, cost the company over $80 million to rehabilitate and put to use. Currently, water from the plant is used in gardening and other activities, while attempts are being made to produce charcoal from the fecal matter.
Away from that, the national organizer of the new Patriotic Party, Sami Wuku, has stated that the Akufo-Addo-led government has achieved more in infrastructure than his predecessor, John Dramani Mahama. He made this revelation in a media encounter in Accra.
We know that the evidence will show that the NPP under Akufo-Addo has achieved more in providing infrastructure for communities up and down the country under just 4 years. John Mahama and his NDC, we simply cannot understand it. We have the evidence and we shall be sharing them with the Ghanaian people very soon. And they won't be in a dream. This will be a verifiable project.
All right, so the national organizer of the ruling New Patriotic Party, Sami Wuku, has criticized the flag bearer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, former President John Dramani Mahama, over his decision to improve the status of the free SHS policy program when voted back into power. He made a statement in a media encounter in Accra.
Candidate Mahama now claims that in the unlikely event that he is elected president again, he will implement Akufo-Addo's free SHS program. Ladies and gentlemen, how do you implement a program that is already running? Candidate Mahama, why now? You were in power as vice president and head of the economic management team for almost 4 years, and as president of the republic also for another 4 years and some 4 months. In total, you have been in power for 8 good years. Yet, Mr. Mahama, you failed to implement the free SHS. Your endorsement of free SHS is therefore from your own record, not an honest position to take, which is simply then a big lie. Your current running mate, an educationist, who was your Minister of Education, yet together you failed to implement free SHS. President Akufo-Addo pledged way back in 2008 that he would implement the free SHS so that every young Ghanaian would have the opportunity to have secondary education no matter how poor their family background is. You opposed it. You had the opportunity for 8 years, yet you failed to implement the free SHS. We are told by our NDC friends and their communicators that it was not up to the education minister.
That's all we have for you on our local front. After that is business. Do stay with us.
understand music.
When are you back? Yes. What do you call?
appointment no mami wa kasa kura me dia da se ma ba po awo edroi bo bo me ni mabusuafo me ma me ho hu tutuo e ba ontimi nda e na bo appointment age no kotodwe ba bibia da tutu woni petuem e ye bo appointment enti ye kura ye boni munane male popa paswe me be the farm
Tania na white wo me so yi me de boafo cream a treat mani nyina akọ pimples ekro e jam apropro ne honam ne yare ahodo yi wo de enchiri gu nsuo mu na de boafo soap ka de sra so a 5 minutes achi na de boafo cream asra so e be sane nyina from aho atawo boafo herbal products
o manfo agya tunti o se male popa paswa.
So welcome back. Now let's do some business story. Now the public relation officer of the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Prince Boachi Boateng, has indicated the government is not witch-hunting foreign retailers in the various markets in Accra, but rather enforcing laws of the country that makes retail business a preserve for Ghanaians. He made this revelation after the ministry's task force, in collaboration with the Ghana Revenue Authority, the Ghana Standard Authority, and other state agencies, locked up shops of retailers, especially Ghanaians who did not comply with the laws.
Promotion Act restrains foreigners in Ghana from engaging in any form of retail business. Over the years, the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, complained about the violation of Act by foreigners, especially Nigerians. This has led to the unlawful closure of shops by GUTA a few months before the lockdown. Government, after ordering the reopening of the shops, constituted an interministerial task force consisting of various agencies such as the Ghana Immigration Service, Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Standards Authority and Registrar General's Department, Ghana Investment Promotion Center and the police to hold foreigners doing business in the country to strict adherence to the GIPC Act. The Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Prince Boachi Boateng, explained why the shops have been closed.
There is a Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act, which requires that no foreigner is expected to engage in retail trade. Over the years, the SIs have been perpetrated in the country, and we felt that it was time to nip it in the bud. Several attempts have been made in the past to get this thing done, but then it keeps cropping up, and we felt that it's time for us to step up the game a little bit. That is the reason for which the Minister for Trade and Industry put up a committee made up of the various regulatory agencies. You know, previously when you go out, it looks as if it's a witch hunt or something. We wanted it to be more of an enforcement. So we have put up regulatory bodies. And I'm referring to the Ghana Standards Authority, the Ghana Immigration Service, Registrar General's Department, Ghana Revenue Authority, and the GIPC itself. Ghana Standards Authority is also on board.
However, in a sharp contrast, the national president of Nigerian traders in Ghana, Chukwuemeka Naji, confirmed to Pan-African News that many of the Nigerian traders have legitimized their businesses in the country. He wonders why their shops were closed again after spending a lot of money in getting the right documents for their businesses.
On Monday, the Interministerial Task Force were, carrying out the exercise of checking documentation of Nigerian traders. They started from Abusokai, and we also informed our members that they are coming from Circle today. Unfortunately, in the morning they called me, they are locking their shops instead of checking their documents. And I asked them, have they got any information earlier? They said no. The information I had on my own is that they will be checking documentations. And I called one of them and asked, I spoke with him and said, listen, you told me you are coming to check a document, and I have told our members to present their documentation. What happened or what have changed? And he said, no, they are coming to lock. That's what I heard, and that is the situation we find ourselves. And most of the shops are being locked. They are still locking it.
Chairman of the Kwame Nkrumah Circle chapter of the union, Chukwuemeka Onyekwanwu, believes that there was a miscommunication between the task force and the traders. He's calling on government to come to their aid.
They came, when they visited our area before, they told us to, they assessed so many of the shops. The immigration, they checked so many of us. And they gave us some bills which we paid. At least more than 90% of our members has complied with the bills that they gave us. So after paying the bills and obtaining receipts, I'm not saying government is hiding under that. I don't even understand what is going on. I can't understand. I don't know why they came to lock the shops. I don't know why government institutions are locking our shops without telling us that today we are coming to lock your shops. You will come to office after locking your... Like inform people, communicate to us so that we will prepare ourselves for that. I don't know why they are doing this. It is that so many of us, it's not even some, have Ghanaian wives and children. Are the children not Ghanaians? The wives, are they not Ghanaians? Can they eat? Can they feed? We're locking up the shops again. So please, they should come to our aid.
So that's all we have for you on the world of business. Up next is international. Some international story now, as Afghan President Ashraf Ghani has announced on Sunday, August 9th, that the final batch of around 400 Taliban prisoners would be released soon. The decision is likely to pave the way for the beginning of intra-Afghan talks this week in Qatar.
On Sunday, a resolution calling for the release of a pending batch of Taliban prisoners was passed by thousands of local representatives. The resolution said the Jargah Local Consultative Assembly approves the release of 400 Taliban prisoners in order to remove obstacles to the start of peace talks and stop the bloodshed. The resolution added that the Taliban should also take responsibility for the release of all civilians and military officials in its custody. The release of a pending 400 Taliban prisoners was repeatedly halted by President Ghani on grounds of them being accused of major crimes and murders, charges which Ghani claimed were beyond his domain to pardon. People want the bloodshed in the country to stop, and the only obstacle blocking the direct negotiation with the Taliban was the release of the prisoners, one of the Jargah members said. Since the U.S. Taliban peace deal in Qatari capital Doha in February, no direct talks have been taking place between the Taliban and the Afghan government, despite several ceasefire announcements in the past 1 year. Recently, U.S. Defense Secretary Mark Esper, in an interview, said that the number of U.S. troops present in Afghanistan will be cut down to 5,000 by end of November 2020. In the first half of 2020, a total of 1,213 civilians lost their lives, while 1,744 others were wounded in at least 880 incidents of violence in the country, as per the Afghanistan Independent Human Rights Commission.
That's all for our international stories. Up next is sports with my colleague Eve Edwards.